Welcome back to another episode of Naked Truth with Abby. I'm here today with Samora Suber, a certified life coach and yoga instructor based in Los Angeles. She's also the founder of SamoraLife.com, which helps women to feel well, worthy, and wealthy through personal and professional development resources. Samara has led meditation and yoga workshops for brands such as Oprah Winfrey Network, OWN, Atleta, Vaseline, Blog Her, The Wing, the Reverter, and other wellness organizations. Samara also created an explorative yoga technique, motivational yoga, MOGA, which pairs motivational affirmations with specific yoga sequences to stimulate positive thinking, push past physical limitations, and release emotional blockage. Let's welcome Samora Suber today. Thank you for joining me, and I just appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule to speak with us today.
Of course. No, thank you for reaching out and having me. I think what you're doing is wonderful, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Awesome. Thank you again. And let us just begin by just telling the viewers who you are and why you chose personal development.
Sure. So I started my journey, I guess, in wellness in this space about over 10 years ago, honestly. And really it came from my own frustrations. I was living in New York. I was working a job that I wasn't very passionate or felt connected to. And I knew that there was something more that I wanted out of my life. And there were so many things that I felt like I had going for me in terms of talent and passions that I wasn't even using. And so I started really trying to figure out how I can make a shift in my journey in my life. Like, how can I change? And so what I did was I ended up hiring a life coach. And through that experience working with her, I was able to clear out some of the limiting beliefs that I had about my own possibilities in terms of what I wanted to do and what I can do. And I started to get really clear on how I wanted to make change. And I felt supported in going down that path. So what happened after working with her is that I moved to Los Angeles. I knew that I was done living in New York. New York was like starting to depress me. It was just a hard lifestyle. So I knew I wanted to live in Los Angeles. I made that move. I knew that I wanted to work in more of a creative space. So I started producing and directing and writing for different TV and film projects. And then I also started taking my yoga practice very seriously. I started practicing more. And because I was practicing more, I also decided I wanted to be a yoga teacher. And so as I started working towards my yoga teaching certification, I realized that this gift of like teaching was really something that I connected more with. More than anything. And I wanted to continue down that path. So it was a little bit of a journey, but it really started with like putting myself first and taking care of myself.
So it was from you going through it, knowing that you have experienced it and you're able now to teach someone else.
Exactly.
And today's topic is on a delicate, very delicate topic, this discussion. It's about confidence, and sometimes we don't even know what confidence means. I just want you to tell us in your own word, what does confidence mean to you?
Confidence to me is really knowing yourself. I think that confidence really comes from understanding who you are and how you behave the way you are and what makes you excited or what makes you upset. But really knowing more about yourself is how confidence shows up.
Right.
Because I think, despite what's happening around you, whether you're, excited and external circumstances look good for you or whether it looks bad for you, whatever the external is separate from how you should constantly be feeling about yourself. And that comes with time of getting to know yourself. Because like any relationship, the more you spend time with someone, the more you
More you
care about
get to
that
know
person.
them.
Yeah, the more
Right.
connected you feel, the more, you know, energy you want to have with that
Yeah,
person.
and
So,
sometimes we're living in our body and we don't even know ourselves. We don't even know our likes. We know what people like for us. So
yes,
it really starts with self.
yeah,
Really does
exactly.
start with self.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced feeling low confidence in your abilities, and how did that affect you and how did you deal with that?
Yeah, so you could feel low, you can feel low in terms of how confident you are, especially when you're trying something new. And especially when you're really just trying to discover. Like right now, I'm kind of in a phase where I'm changing the direction of my business. And I don't feel that confident about where I'm going with this, but it's because it's so new and it's so different that I have to adjust how I feel about it. But that doesn't
Right.
mean that I lack confidence in myself. It just means that I lack confidence in this new thing
In the
that
direction
I
and the
explore.
project.
Exactly. And so
Right.
I think a lot of people confuse the two. It's like if I don't, if I don't feel confident about something, then that means that I'm not confident. When really it's like you are confident because you can also be confident that you're not good at something. Like I'm not
Right.
singer. So I'm not confident in my ability to sing, but that still makes me confident because I am clear about who I am and my limitations and the things that I can do.
Right.
So I think that that's important to distinguish.
Right. Has self-confidence or gaining more self-confidence changed your life in any sort of way?
Yeah. I feel like when you are confident in yourself, and again, that comes from really spending time with yourself and knowing yourself. But when you're confident in yourself, you're able to attract things that will enhance your life.
Right.
So I really do
Right.
believe that confidence is a key ingredient to manifesting the things that you desire.
Right. Because when you're manifesting, you have to know that you deserve that thing. So if you're
Exactly.
not confident in yourself and what you desire and what you want, then manifesting won't work because you can't tell your mind something else and speak something else. So
Exactly.
it all
Exactly.
definitely begins with confidence.
Hmm.
For confidence and self-esteem, we kind of get it mixed up most of the time. Do you think confidence and self-esteem goes hand in hand?
I think that they work very well together, but I don't think that they're the same thing. I think you're
Yeah.
right. Self-esteem is really all around like how you feel, your emotional states. But confidence is more about like your understanding, your clarity, your ability to um, believe in something, right? Your belief system. So that doesn't waver whether you're feeling good or feeling bad or having a good day or having a bad day. Whereas your self-esteem can waver. If I
Right.
don't get my hair today, then now my self-esteem, I'm very conscious that my self-esteem is lower,
Right.
but I'm so confident that I'm going to show up and have a great interview, So it is very different, but they do go
But
hand in
they
hand.
do intertwine and are
Yeah,
sometimes mixed up for each other.
exactly. Because when you feel good and your self-esteem is high, you do tend to be
Have
more
more
confident.
confidence. Yeah.
Exactly. But the
Yeah.
confidence still is there regardless.
Regardless. Have you ever experienced, because of being confident, someone saying that you're too confident or you're judged for having high self-esteem and being too full of yourself? And how
Yeah.
did you deal with that situation? How would you encourage someone to deal with that situation?
Yeah. So a lot of that reflection of comments of people being like, she's too full of herself or she's overly confident, a lot of that has to do with that own person's insecurities.
Right.
Sometimes when you shine your
Projection.
light, exactly, projection, exactly. And sometimes when you shine your light, it can make other people dim theirs. But that doesn't mean that you stop shining your light. It just means
Right.
that they have to get comfortable and more confident in their own light that they can shine too. So it is a balance in terms of how people perceive you versus how you perceive yourself or how you show up. But ultimately, I try not to subscribe to other people's opinions, because as long as
Right.
I'm feeling good and I'm, doing the things that I'm doing and I'm not hurting anyone else,
Definitely.
it's
Definitely.
okay.
Just keep doing good, keep loving up on yourself, keep loving up on the world. And
Yes.
it doesn't matter how someone else perceives you, because a lot of these things is definitely projection. And give the person a word of advice, because
Exactly.
sometimes they just need someone to talk to and they don't know how to.
Exactly. Agreed.
Or I got this question from one of my friends. She wanted to know, how do you remain confident when everyone around you is striving faster than you?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think that isn't a quick fix. It's not something that you can like hurry up and turn off. It's definitely a practice. And that
Right.
really is about making sure that you're not comparing yourself with others. So staying in your lane and being confident in your own lane is a practice. That's something that
Right.
takes time to develop. And I think that starts with making sure that you do have a self-care practice so that you do feel like you are filling up your own cup and you feel good about what you're doing in the world and you feel
Right.
good about yourself, so that when you look at somebody else and they're doing whatever they're doing, you're looking at it in a sense of, that's great for them. I'm happy for them. Look at them shining, because you also feel like you're shining as
Right.
well. The other thing I would say about that is that sometimes when we do compare ourselves or we get jealous of someone else or we're noticing other people doing something that we might want to do, it's also information for us. It's information for us to know
To
that maybe,
inspire us too.
exactly, maybe whatever that person's doing is something that we want to do. And maybe that
Exactly.
be an example of what you can work towards or what you can incorporate in your life. So not looking at it as a negative, but maybe looking at it as like, oh, this
Right.
can actually help me.
And they always say as well, when you see someone doing good around you, rejoice, because your time is close, your time is coming. So we
Yes,
can always look at it in a bright and more positive light, which will then, the energy around us won't be that I'm not striving, but I can strive in my lane.
yes, exactly.
Another, that was a good answer as well. I think that very much answered the question clearly. Another question was, how can you keep confident when you're in an area where you're basically the duckling versus the swans, you're the odd one out. You're like, yeah.
Yeah. That's also a good question, because I used to always feel that way. Like I was the I was the always the kind of creative one, the one that was kind of like doing her own thing. Everybody's doing this, I'm doing that. Um,
Right.
but honestly, it's interesting because again, when you spend time with yourself and you know what you're doing fills your cup and you know what you're doing makes you happy, then it almost is like it's almost like something that you celebrate about yourself. You celebrate
Right.
your difference. You celebrate that you're not
Your
all you
uniqueness.
proud. Yeah, and that honestly will draw people to you. Like some people like the fact that you are your own person. You're doing your
Right.
own thing, and I feel like the more you relish in your own unique ability and the things that you do well, the more people will also celebrate that.
Right. And it's all about not trying to keep up with the Joneses, not trying to fit in, but to stand up in your own authentical self, to be
Yes.
who you are and who you know you are once you know self and what you desire for self.
Yes.
And it was such a short interview because I have no other question,
Oh,
but it was
oh,
good.
good.
It was good. And again, first, if you have any final remarks to those who are listening, what you'd say to them?
I would say, if you don't take anything from this conversation, really take the part about carving out space for yourself, getting to know yourself, making sure that you have a self-care practice, that you're making yourself feel good on a regular basis. That is the key to confidence. And once you get to a place where you're feeling confident, you can start to attract all the other things that you desire in your life.
Definitely. And you can just let us know where we can find you on social media, your website, and all of that.
Yeah, so everything for me is SamoraLife. So SamoraLife.com is my website. SamoraLife is my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Clubhouse, anything social is SamoraLife. So I would love to, connect with anybody who has any more questions or just want to feel supported.
Awesome. And thank you again for joining me. It has been a pleasure. I really enjoyed this conversation. It was smooth and flowing, and just the energy around was great. Thank you for taking the time out to come on here and speak with me. And I hope to keep in touch.
Yes, please do. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Abigail. Thank you, girl. I'll see you later.
Later. Okay. Guys, that was it for our confidence interview. That was Samora Suber for you. And you heard her. Can find her on her social, on her website. Remember to download your free report on elevating your life in 2020. There are a lot of stuff in there about confidence, about choosing your own path, believing in yourself, and doing what is best for you. Love and love always. Don't know. Big up on yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.